Welcome to the Imperial Palace, where secrets run deeper than the ancient stone foundations. Under a glowing full moon, a mysterious figure prepares to make a high-stakes move. Su Chen King grumbles that this massive palace is far too easy to get lost in. He is on a desperate mission to clear his family's name from a salt smuggling scandal, determined to find the evidence and get out. Honestly, this little nugget just wants to inherit his family's wealth and live a quiet, lazy life. He is the Su family's young master, and a master of disguise. He needs a perfect cover to sneak through the palace halls without being caught, and when he spots a lonely maid standing by the quiet lotus pond, an idea comes to him. Suddenly, a massive splash echoes through the night as he makes his chaotic move. The poor girl flinches, having no idea a ninja is about to ruin her night. The water settles, but the real danger for our hero is only just beginning. Su Chen King drops from the sky like a savage assassin with a very specific plan, looming over her with a terrifying glare that would make anyone's heart stop. He tells her, apologetically, that he's going to need her help, smirking as she panics, then politely asks to borrow her bed, a top-tier awkward request if there ever was one. Using a secret skill, he transforms into a beautiful woman to blend in with the servants, musing that this formless divine skill is actually quite handy for a quick wardrobe change. He remembers that the critical case files vanished right after being taken from the court, and with eyes full of icy resolve, he prepares to infiltrate the palace's inner sanctum. He realizes he's standing right outside the emperor's private bedchamber and knows he must tread carefully. He creeps inside, hoping the room is as empty as his stomach during a fast, wondering nervously whether someone is actually in there. A voice calls out for someone named Li Gongzi, catching him completely off guard. Suddenly, a cold voice commands the guards to take the intruder alive at all costs. Su Chen King barely has time to react as the quiet room turns into a deadly battlefield. He leaps backwards, his heart hammering against his ribs in pure, unadulterated terror, screaming internally about what on earth is going on as he dodges for his life. A deadly assassin with blue hair blocks his path with a razor-sharp blade, and he can't believe someone was hiding in the room this whole time without him noticing. He freezes when he hears the assassin taking orders from someone in the shadows. A sharp blade cuts through the air, narrowly missing his neck, and the assassin stands ready to strike again, showing absolutely no mercy to the poor boy.
Su Chen King's eyes widen as he spots a majestic golden robe hanging on a nearby rack. Isn't that the legendary dragon robe, reserved only for the ruler? He realizes that means the person behind the screen is none other than the emperor. In his panic, he's reminded that his new female body is far more fragile than the one from his past life, and he loses his balance, crashing through the room and making enough noise to wake everyone. Looking up, he finds himself staring into a pair of icy, glowing red eyes. Ouch, that's definitely going to leave a mark, he groans, sprawled on the floor. Standing before him is the stunning, savage emperor, looking absolutely lethal even in her bath wrap. She doesn't hesitate to put him in his place, stepping directly on his face. Wait, you're actually a man? She asks, her voice dripping with icy, dangerous disdain. Su Chen King shakes in his boots as the emperor looms over him, desperately searching for a way to test his chances of escape. Suddenly, the guards burst in, but the emperor orders them to stand down, mocking his assassination attempt as absolutely pathetic. A hand reaches out to grab him, tightening the tension in the room. The emperor's long hair flows as she completely dominates the space. "Are you really daring to negotiate with me?" She sneers with a smirk, leaning in close, her eyes glowing with a terrifying red light. Outside, the palace is in a total frenzy as guards scream to protect the emperor, charging through the courtyard with spears. Su Chen King isn't sticking around for an execution and makes a break for it, managing to snatch the evidence and shouting that he's caught them red-handed. The guards realize the secret is out, and panic levels hit the roof as their poor target screams for his life while the chase begins. But the escape doesn't go as planned, and he ends up face down on the floor. Later, he's forced into a stunning floral dress, looking gorgeous but utterly miserable, panicking internally that this crazy situation has him running around in women's clothes. Meanwhile, the emperor starts digging through the Su family records looking for any shred of proof, realizing that since she is the emperor now, she has to review the documents herself. Suddenly, someone calls out to her, making her jump out of her skin. "How does a woman like you still have consorts?" she screams in rage.
The emperor is sweating bullets, feeling the weight of her clan's survival, completely overwhelmed by the sheer absurdity of her new royal life. "Ugh, just kill me already," she groans, wanting to give up, before trying to dismiss the intruder and tell them to leave her alone. But then she spots a unique earring and realizes exactly who she's facing. She sighs, telling him she's simply not in the mood for company, but the princess isn't taking no for an answer, and lunges forward. The emperor is pinned to the bed, screaming in total shock. "What exactly do you think I want to do?" she retorts mockingly. The intruder clicks his tongue as the poor consort completely passes out from the shock, clearly unimpressed by her total lack of grace in this situation. "You're just too beautiful for a commoner like me to handle," he mocks sarcastically. The emperor orders the guards to take the unconscious mess away immediately. The mysterious man demands she release the Su family to avoid any further trouble, suggesting smoothly that she make a deal with the Union instead. The emperor stares him down, refusing to be intimidated by his bold demands. Suddenly, a secret passage hidden behind the library bookshelves slides open. The intruder is stunned to find a hidden tunnel right in the palace, but his luck runs out when a heavy book nails him right in the head. The emperor starts digging through the records, finding suspicious notes on a consort, while uncovering details about the great Emperor Liu. As she tries to connect the dots, is this all just about some unpleasant fish bones? She wonders, feeling exhausted. The next morning, she puts on her best "don't mess with me" face. An official reports that the Su family is guilty of negligence regarding the plague, and she finds the whole situation with Su Chen King absolutely hilarious. The court session ends quickly, with nothing more for the ministers to report. She looks out over the palace, knowing the real games are just beginning.
A servant approaches her with an urgent message as she leaves the throne, whispering quietly to ensure no prying ears can catch their conversation. Back in the bedchamber, she's informed that Consort Shang has already arrived. The red-headed beauty shows up with a food basket and a dazzling smile, and the emperor finally starts enjoying the perks of being the one in charge. However, the imperial records warn that this consort is a total flirtatious nightmare. "I'm too busy with memorials to eat right now," she says, trying to escape. Consort Shang turns on the waterworks, asking if she hates her cooking. To stop the drama, the emperor reluctantly agrees to take just one bite. But a sudden knock at the door ruins the peaceful moment. Consort Lo decides to crash the party, making the atmosphere incredibly awkward. The new arrival looks absolutely furious and ready to start a fight. The red-headed vixen brags that her delicacies are far better than simple tea and rice, insisting her pastries are the only superior choice for Her Majesty. The emperor is caught in the middle of this intense culinary war. "Eat this," the blonde consort demands, shoving food directly into her mouth, leaning in close and not taking no for an answer. "Does it taste good?" she asks with sparkling eyes, while the emperor struggles to keep it all down under the smothering. Consort Shang just watches the chaos unfold with a mischievous giggle. Suddenly, a sickly cough echoes through the room as a new arrival appears. The emperor is literally drowning in attention from all these beautiful women. It's Consort Q, and she's brought even more food to the party. Another massive food box appears, making the emperor's stomach turn. "I really can't eat another bite," she screams internally in agony. The new girl looks on with a gentle but mysterious expression, standing tall with her offering and towering over the competition. The blonde consort realizes she's outmatched and starts making a quick exit, shouting that she has things to do while bolting for the door, only to trip over her own feet in her desperate rush to escape.
the emperor can only watch as her blonde consort faceplants. Consort Lo runs away crying, leaving the other two behind. The red-headed consort decides it's her time to leave the stage as well, bidding Her Majesty a playful farewell before disappearing from the room. Now, the emperor is left alone with the most dangerous one of all. Consort Q gives her a look that sends shivers down her spine. The emperor turns bright red under that intense, beautiful gaze. This woman is the daughter of the prime minister, incredibly smart, proficient in every art, and the strongest candidate for empress. The emperor knows she must stay far away from this calculating beauty. Evening finally falls over the palace as the sun begins to set, and she collapses onto the bed, completely drained from the day's drama. "What happened to you in just half a day?" a voice asks. A stunning woman with flowing white hair enters the room, and the emperor is shocked to see her beloved consort standing there. "Have you decided on your next move yet?" the woman asks, leaning in close and making the emperor's heart skip a beat. "Try becoming someone more like me," the consort suggests smoothly. The emperor looks up in confusion as the woman began styling her hair, working with expert hands to change her look, carefully adjusting every strand to make the transformation perfect. "You'll be recognized too easily if your hair stays like that," she notes. The emperor blushes furiously, staring at their reflection in the mirror. "Now it's absolutely flawless," the consort whispers into her ear. "From now on, I am the emperor," the white-haired woman declares, "and tonight it's your turn to attend my bedchamber," she adds. The emperor stares at a mountain of paperwork that would make anyone quit. The consort stands firm, looking like the world's most glamorous and terrifying principal, insisting that a true ruler must master the art of reviewing memorials. "Sit down and study until your handwriting is perfect," she commands with a look. The emperor's hair is a total disaster zone as she struggles to focus, glancing up at her mentor and wondering when this academic nightmare will end. The consort watches her pupil like a hawk, secretly enjoying her progress. "You actually have the qualities of a great emperor," she says with a wink. The emperor is buried under a sea of scrolls as night falls, letting out a massive yawn and stretching her aching back after hours of study. The moon rises over the silent palace, signaling the start of a long night. She manages to sneak a peek at a secret file regarding the Su family. "I didn't expect to find this so easily," she whispers, feeling quite lucky. But the consort's voice cuts through the air, sensing a presence outside. The emperor peers through the window and spots a suspicious figure in the garden. The consort makes a ridiculous face, looking like a grumpy old schoolteacher. "You must be joking. Why would your sister try to assassinate you?" she asks. Suddenly, a girl leaps out of the bushes, making the emperor jump in terror. Before she can run, a firm hand grabs her and pulls her back. The consort holds her close, looking at the intruder with a smug smile. "You dare to draw a weapon in my presence?" she demands with ice. The would-be assassin stands there completely stunned, wondering what is even happening. The emperor demands that Bi Ling drop her weapon immediately. Sister Chow screams for her to come home. Su Chen King tries to coordinate a plan amid the chaos. The emperor restrains her as she tries to break free, cornering Sister Chow and demanding to know why she'd be so reckless. "Beg for forgiveness right now," he growls into her ear, the tension in the room thick enough to cut. Sister Chow realizes her mistake and freezes in shock as the sword clatters to the floor, ending the threat. Everyone gathers in the library as the emperor looms. Su Chen King drops to her knees, begging for mercy. The emperor is fed up with this dramatic reunion, slamming his fist down as his hatred boils over, and decides Sister Chow must stay to serve him. Sister Chow offers to serve him alongside her sister. The emperor's brain short-circuits at the sudden proposal. The emperor is left in tears, worried about the future, while Su Chen King tries to push her sister to safety. Night falls over the palace as the dust settles. Later, the emperor asks how it felt to hold power, and it's clear Su Chen King is stressed by the crown's weight. Morning arrives, and the palace is buzzing with rumors. Su Chen King hands over the memorials with a sigh, forcing a smile and telling him to stay healthy. The emperor dismisses her, ready to head back to his quarters. Su Chen King collapses, canceling the morning assembly to rest, and the carriage is prepared as the emperor makes his exit. The scene cuts to Consort Chow's chamber, where the atmosphere is thick with dramatic tension. Biling is a sobbing mess, claiming everything is her fault for causing trouble. The emperor tries to play it cool, insisting she's perfectly fine despite the chaos, but Biling is in a total state of panic and won't stop screaming. Suddenly, the girl asks if holding hands with a man is what makes a baby. The emperor realizes these two were never supposed to be friends in the original story. She nearly chokes on her own breath when Biling asks how children are actually made, blushing like a tomato and completely caught off guard by the innocent question. The two of them stare at each other in a hilariously awkward standoff, and she desperately tries to explain the story of the stork to save her own sanity. Meanwhile, the emperor is lounging on his throne, looking like a total snack. Imperial Dr. Zhou is summoned to the palace to check on His Majesty's health, and the doctor immediately drops to his knees to offer a very formal greeting. The emperor admits he's been feeling a bit under the weather lately. As the doctor takes his pulse, the tension in the room starts to rise, and they share a silent, intense look as the diagnosis begins to take shape. The doctor notes his pulse is fine, but his energy levels are dangerously low. He hesitates for a moment, clearly terrified of what he has to say next, before finally declaring that the emperor is suffering from a classic case of excessive indulgence. Back with the emperor, a steaming wooden bathtub is prepared for a relaxing soak. Biling insists they bathe together, but the emperor is internally screaming for help, imagining the real emperor yelling to execute the whole family if he finds out. Biling clings to her anyway, leaving her absolutely horrified and trapped, her eyes widening in shock as she realizes she's in a total death trap. Little does she know, a mysterious spy is watching their every move from above. The scene shifts to a grand palace building nestled among lush trees. Inside, a delicate wooden screen stands as the only barrier between peace and drama. The emperor can't help but sigh while dealing with her clingy little sister's antics. "I really can't do anything about you," she mutters while scrubbing the girl's head. But the playful mood vanishes as she puts on a cold, serious face. "Lead the way," she commands, ready to face whatever trap is being set. She arrives at Consort Xiang's bedchamber, a place practically dripping with hidden intentions. Outside, cherry blossom petals drift lazily through the air, masking the garden's tension. Consort Xiang smirks, her eyes gleaming with a truly wicked and hateful light. "Whether you conceive or not, the result will be the same," she sneers villainously, trying to force a suspicious bowl of dark medicine onto the emperor. The emperor realizes this green tea is actually a dangerous abortion drug in disguise. Refusing to be a victim, she knocks the bowl away, sending the poison flying. "How dare you? Arrest her for me!" the consort shrieks, pointing a trembling finger. Guards immediately lunge forward, shouting for her to stop her desperate run, but she's far too fast for these clumsy, slow palace goons. "Please continue dancing, sister. I'll take my leave for now," she mockingly teases. The chase leads toward the imposing, gloomy gates of the imperial prison. A mysterious figure stands tall before the entrance, blocking the path with authority. She narrows her eyes, her gaze sharpening with a new sense of purpose. The scene shifts to a cold, damp prison where the Su family is being held, trapped behind bars, looking completely broken and defeated.
Su King's father can't hide the sheer terror written all over his face. "Your Excellency, we are innocent!" his uncle and aunt scream in desperation. Suddenly, King sneaks in with a tray of food to quiet them down, flashing a confident smile as he tries to reassure his terrified relatives. But his aunt is losing her mind and reaches through the bars. "If our family is doomed, you all won't have a good time either," she shrieks. In the corner, his cousin, Wang Zhang'ai, sits silently, lost in his own dark thoughts, convinced that King is useless and that relying on him is a death sentence. Zhang'ai stands up, deciding that at least one of them should survive this mess. "Think of a way to take Jing'a out of here," he tells King firmly.
Poor Jinga looks like a fragile flower as she weeps over her uncertain future. Cheng King listens to the request, his mind already spinning with a dangerous plan. If things go well, he might even be able to take down the Chen family. His eyes sharpen as he realizes just how high the stakes have become. "Someone's coming, I'll step away for now," he whispers before vanishing. The aunt scoffs, convinced their luck has finally run out for good. "Someone from above has arrived," she yells as a guard approaches the cell. But the official brings shocking news. The emperor has ordered a full reinvestigation. Jinga bursts into tears of joy, unable to believe they might actually survive. Outside the prison walls, the atmosphere in the capital is thick with tension. Cheng King walks away calmly, acting as though he wasn't just committing treason. Meanwhile, the drama in the inner palace is reaching a boiling point. As night falls over the imperial grounds, secrets are being whispered in every corner. The emperor looks up, surprised by an unexpected visitor in his private study. "I simply can't be without your majesty," the consort purrs playfully. The emperor reaches for her hand, completely under the spell of her charms. The empress leans in close, leaving the emperor wondering if she should actually cooperate. "It's getting late. Your majesty should really go to bed," she stammers, feeling the heat. But her cold-hearted counterpart just tells her to get back to work already. The emperor snaps back, asking if she really looks like she's in the mood to serve. The empress asks if she's planning to defile consort Shang the same way she did earlier. The emperor insists she has zero interest in some lady dancing in tiny scraps of cloth, claiming it doesn't matter whether the consort dances as long as the work gets done. Outside, even the birds seem to be judging the awkward tension in the room.
After a grueling marathon, she finally finishes the mountain of paperwork and celebrates her victory. "Let's just sleep for a while and cherish the remaining daylight," she sighs happily, ready to forget the drama and pass out, ignoring the world. She worked like a beast to finish every single memorial in just one night, standing tall and feeling incredibly proud of her lightning-fast efficiency. She even jokes about dancing for the empress once she gets a little practice in. The scene shifts to the Su family, where a massive crowd has gathered. People are watching the public trial, eager to see the fallen nobles pay. "I told you these rich people were never actually kind," one bystander spits out. The envoy confirms the rumors, claiming the Su family intentionally caused the deadly plague. The angry mob begins to scream, demanding the total destruction of the entire family. The emperor knows she can't just sit around and wait for their execution. She needs to convince the public that there are secret clues hidden in this case. Suddenly, a brilliant idea strikes her, and a devious smirk crosses her face. Disguised as a storyteller, she graciously accepts a cup of tea from the crowd and tells everyone to stop talking about history and focus on the Su family drama instead. She leaks a massive secret, claiming the young master has evidence to clear their name. Before anyone can ask questions, she fakes a bathroom emergency and sprints away. Back at the office, the envoy is ready to hand the final report to the emperor, but a guard rushes in with terrible news about the rumors spreading like wildfire. If this gets out, the higher-ups will definitely accuse the royal guards of being incompetent. He immediately orders the case suspended until they can find the source of the leak. "Dig 3 feet into the ground if you have to, but find that boy," he roars.
"Stop!" the emperor roars, catching her trying to sneak back in. "Where did you go?" he demands, looking completely fed up with her antics. She just smiles and offers him a stick of sweet candied haws. "I tested them for poison just for you," she chirps with fake innocence. He warns her to report her outings next time or face strict punishment. Consort Kiao nervously laughs, realizing she barely escaped a massive royal lecture. They head back inside the palace, unaware that a new disaster is waiting. The red-haired consort Xiang is found collapsed right at the emperor's door. He looks down at the crying mess with a mix of shock and suspicion. "Consort Kiao bullied me," she wails, putting on a truly pathetic performance. He turns to her, demanding to know what she did. "It's fake. She tried to feed me abortion medicine," she retorts. "You actually slandered me," Xiang screams, going full theatrical in her fake rage. Consort Kiao remains calm, asking her to recall exactly what she wore yesterday. The red-headed schemer glares, realizing her web of lies is finally falling apart. She thinks she can still win him back, but the emperor is done. "You are so bold to deceive me with such lethal pills," he roars. "This is not fair," Xiang cries, wanting the floor in total desperation. Consort Qiao just mocks her, asking if she really expected to stay around. "A general's daughter sure is flexible when it comes to kneeling," she sneers. Consort Xiang keeps pleading, but it's clear her royal favor is officially dead. The drama finally clears out as the sun sets over the palace grounds, and Consort Qiao skips away satisfied with another victory over her annoying rivals. Meanwhile, things are looking grim over at the Imperial Security Headquarters tonight. A guard reports that they still haven't found any sign of Su Chen King. "A bunch of trash," the envoy slams the table in a blind rage, demanding to know why they can't even catch one single target. Back at the palace, the moon is high and the night is quiet. A soft hand rests on the emperor's shoulder while he works late. "Stop for a moment and watch me dance," she whispers softly, her heart racing as she wonders if her secret plans will finally succeed tonight. Consort Zhao twirls gracefully, asking the emperor how her dancing looks. He praises her elegance, but admits he's looking for something much more provocative. From behind the screen, she asks how he plans to handle her teasing behavior. Her silhouette looms large as she challenges his authority with a playful smirk. He tries to act tough, demanding she move the curtain as punishment. Suddenly, she's right in his space, inviting him to join the dance. His heart skips a beat as he realizes just how close they are. He tries to retreat to his work, but she won't let him go. "If you want to play this role, you must learn to dance," she insists, pulling him close and promising to be a very thorough teacher. He barely survives the encounter as she finally decides to let him go. "I'll teach you the rest next time," she whispers, leaving him completely flustered. She certainly knows how to keep him on his toes throughout the night. Later, they sit down for tea to discuss their day. Consort Zhao mentions she even brought back some local treats for him, but the mood shifts when she reveals the officials are calling for her head. He's totally lost, wondering if he's the one actually in danger. The sun sets over the palace as the political tension continues to rise. He wakes up the next morning alone, wondering where everyone disappeared to. The peaceful morning sky hides the storm brewing within the palace walls. He knows that if the crown prince's palace folds under pressure, it's game over. Suddenly, the fiery consort Shang appears, acting suspiciously friendly. She has her servant bring out a special gift to show her sincerity, a pile of expensive jewelry offered as an apology for her past rudeness. Consort Zhao decides to play along, picking out a beautiful golden hairpin. Shang smiles, calling her sister while handing over the precious treasure. But as she walks away, her friendly facade begins to crack into something far more dangerous. The emperor kicks back and looks over the latest reports with a satisfied smirk.
Consort Geo smiles sweetly, asking him how his long day at court actually went. He explains that those annoying officials are still kneeling and begging for Consort Xiang's execution. "Are you upset because of my interactions with her?" she teases, testing the waters. He stammers out a denial, but his blushing face tells a completely different story. To change the subject, he presents a stunning golden hairpin he picked out just for her, smirking as he notes how her smooth-talking ways have clearly charmed everyone in the palace. Suddenly, he pulls her close, promising to personally introduce her to the high-ranking officials. A sudden movement catches her off guard as he reaches out to grab her. "I order you to sit still," he commands, pulling her right onto his lap. She nervously stammers that she's happy to stay and help him with the workload, but her heart stops when she spots a shocking report about the White Tiger envoy. Back at the palace, the atmosphere is thick with tension. Consort Geo demands to know what crimes she actually committed. The ministers suddenly break, trembling as they admit their guilt. She is suspicious, wondering why these old snakes surrendered so easily. Meanwhile, a dark crowd gathers in the busy capital market. The White Tiger Marshal stands ready for a public execution. "Drag Su Chen King out," he bellows to the terrified crowd. Nobles watch the chaos, debating how much to pay for a talented prisoner. The marshal loses his patience, declaring the time for death has arrived. But a mysterious silver-haired man watches from the shadows.
He steps out, mocking the marshal for his bravery, pointing to the tortured scapegoat and calling out the marshal's cruelty. Standing tall on a rooftop, he laughs at their pathetic methods. The marshal snaps, lunging forward with a murderous glint in his eye. "You're asking for death," he screams, charging at full speed. Su Chen King dodges the strike like it's a game of tag, waving a golden book and claiming it's the evidence everyone wants. "Here, it's yours," he shouts, tossing the prize into the air. The marshal catches it, thinking he's finally won, but Su Chen King leaps away, daring him to catch him instead. The marshal roars at his guards to seize the fugitive. Back at the office, the guards nervously open the golden book, but the pages are filled with nothing but nonsensical scribbles. The marshal realized he was played and screams to burn the book. Inside the pacification office, the atmosphere is thick with tension and unanswered questions. The Jinglong envoy is furious that someone was hired to impersonate Su Chen King, and he demands to see the booklet immediately to uncover the truth for himself. Lord Jinglong orders his subordinates to fetch the evidence without any further delay. The girls tremble as they try to explain the suspicious state of the booklet. Jinglong commands them to speak clearly and hide absolutely nothing from his sight. "Utter nonsense!" White Tiger screams, losing his cool as he grabs the poor girl. Jinglong forces him to sit down while the girls swear their testimony is true, revealing that the booklet showed obvious signs of being torn apart recently. Jinglong leaves the room and orders Chunu to watch White Tiger's every move. Meanwhile, Consort Kiao is relaxing in the library, trying to enjoy some quiet time. A servant arrives with a special gift of roasted chestnuts from Huangjin town. "Presumptuous," the Empress snaps, making sure who is really in charge. She playfully asks if the servant intends to feed her the treats directly. The poor servant blushes, shocked by how bold and unbothered the Empress is. She reaches out, gently taking the servant's hand to inspect it closely, teasing that even big pig trotters shouldn't be this afraid of a bite. She stares deep into his eyes, wanting her favorite consort by her side. The Golden Throne Hall is buzzing with lethal tension. Today, a minister steps forward to deliver a report that could change everything. "Your Majesty, I have a matter to report," Zhao Hong announces with fake humility. He demands the execution of Su Chen King, and the poor boy is absolutely shaking. This is blatant palace coercion. Yet the Empress remains terrifyingly calm and collected, looking down at the ministers with a gaze that could freeze the sun. "Please calm down, my royal brother," the minister stammers, suddenly feeling the heat. Later, Consort Kiao takes her favorite guard for a stroll through the imperial gardens. She explains that if the prince captures Su Chen King, the man will surely die. He realizes he might have been a bit too hasty with his secret plans, trying to play it cool while sweating bullets under her sharp, suspicious gaze. Phew, he thinks. He's finally managed to talk himself out of that. But the Empress isn't done, asking if he's truly concerned about the Su family case. The two share a silent, awkward moment as the gravity of the situation sinks in. "Am I going to die no matter what I do?" he screams internally. The scene moves to the Imperial Garden, where the Emperor is relaxing, just trying to enjoy his teen in total peace. Suddenly, a stunning figure sneaks up right behind him, and he nearly jumps out of the skin, face turning red. "My beloved is simply too beautiful," he cheers, grabbing her. Consort Kiao warns him to watch his image around the crowd, then playfully asks him to write a poem about his feelings. He picks up the brush, ready to show off his skills. Their private moment is interrupted when Consort Biling suddenly arrives. The Emperor stays cool and tells her she may rise. Biling asks if they're busy admiring the flowers, then reads the verses and is stunned by his literary talent. He sweats bullets, realizing he must keep the act up. "Since my beloved likes it, I shall write another one," he declares. Consort Kiao blushes, wondering how she'll show her gratitude tonight. Biling is horrified that her sister is falling for this dog of an emperor. Consort Kiao beams, declaring that only these verses can express the love in her heart. Insincere, she wonders, as the jealous onlookers start questioning the emperor's sudden literary talent. Her ally is left sweating bullets as the palace drama starts to cook. The emperor stands awkwardly in the pavilion while his consorts begin their silent warfare. Suddenly, a new challenger appears carrying a tray of snacks to admire the flowers. The blonde bombshell, Wanner, looks absolutely stunned to see the happy couple together. "I'm sorry for disturbing your time," she stammers, looking like she wants to disappear. Consort Kiao just smiles and welcomes her little sister with a voice dripping in sugar. The emperor happily munches away, thanking her for personally feeding him the pastries. Wanner is internally screaming since she's the one who actually baked those snacks. Consort Kiao can feel the tension rising as her rival's face turns bright red. Wanner realizes she's being made to look bad on purpose and is livid. The emperor and his aide watch the scene play out like a dramatic theater production. Wanner finally reads the poem and is shocked by the emperor's hidden literary genius. "Could you write a poem for me as well?" she begs, feeling completely ignored. The emperor looks at her, clearly drained from his previous poetic outburst. Wanner puts on her best puppy dog eyes, hoping to squeeze out a single compliment, but realizes Consort Kiao has used superior tactics to keep the emperor all herself. Furious and defeated, the blonde beauty storms off, while Consort Kiao remains the winner.
The emperor is totally drained after trying to write romantic poetry all day. Consort Kiao watches him with a satisfied smirk, enjoying her power over him. He insists that she's the only woman fit to be his empress. "That's more like it," she chirps, giving him a playful wink. She sighs, claiming she's far too exhausted to move another muscle. He tells her to rest well while he prepares to start his work. She looks away with a blush, clearly affected by his intense gaze, and he thanks her for the gesture, feeling more motivated than ever. But the peaceful night ends as the emperor enters the morning court. The officiants are busy whispering about the latest scandals involving the inner palace. Prince Xian remains calm and silent, observing the chaos from the sidelines. A loud crash echoes through the hall as a porcelain cup is smashed. The emperor screams at his men for failing to catch Su Chen-king, towering over the trembling official with his eyes burning with pure hatred. "Understood," the official snaps, his voice cold enough to freeze the entire room. He heads out to the gardens to meet his most trusted aide, Lord Baiyu, who greets the prince with a deep bow of respect. They sit down for a game of Go to discuss their next move. The subordinate promises the target will be captured before tomorrow's execution, then drops to his knees, begging for mercy after his latest failure, and promises to wipe out the Su family to make up for his slip-up. He presents a ledger filled with stolen silver from their latest raid. "The wealth of the gambling house will be ours in no time," he boasts. The prince realizes these scoundrels are just using the guards to get rich. The subordinate waits for orders, expecting a command to kill, but instead the prince orders him to clear the Su family's name with evidence. "Why are you changing the plan, Your Highness?" the man stammers in shock. The prince explains that opposing him is the only way to gain favor and that he needs a mole inside the palace to act as his secret undercover agent. "I won't let you down," the subordinate vows, accepting his dangerous new mission. The prince slams his hand down, finality ringing in the air. Su Chen-king is finally back, but she's confused why her target is missing. A guard creeps into the room while she tries to look busy, letting out a massive yawn and pretending she's been napping the whole time. Meanwhile, the atmosphere at Consort Kiao's chamber is getting thick with tension. The beautiful consort lounges around looking bored out of her mind, sighing and wondering why her beloved hasn't come to keep her company. Suddenly, the prince appears, and she asks if he's finally worried about her, complaining about the other consorts being jealous of her position. "Are you actually concerned about me, Your Majesty?" she teases with a smirk. The prince tries to play it cool, suggesting they head back to the palace, but the lady isn't moving, claiming she's suddenly feeling a bit chilly and demanding he carry her all the way back like a true gentleman. "That might not be appropriate if others see us," he says, clearly flustered. "The moonlight highlights your beauty even more tonight," he whispers, trying to deflect. "Is Your Majesty intending to kiss me right now?" she asks playfully.